These are satellite images of one of China's newest cities. A sprawling urban centre, complete with public buildings, hotels and apartment blocks. And this is the view from the ground. 11 a.m. on a Thursday morning and Zhengzhou CBD is deserted. Shops unoccupied, hundreds of apartments uninhabited. All the shops in this mall are empty. Not that that worries the government, because they're simply more concerned with maintaining economic growth. And one way of achieving that is building cities like this one. The big question, though, is how much longer all these shops and properties can remain vacant. But all around me, the construction of this metropolis goes on. And here, in the southern city of Dongguan, yet another example. This is the South China Mall. Toy shop owner Tian Yu Gao is doing his best to keep his spirits up. But it's already after 2 p.m. and he's yet to serve a single customer. Do you get very lonely in here?
嚟呢邊看鋪咧係有啲無聊㗎，客人太少啦。
But then slow days are what he's used to. When was the last time you sold something?
琴日啊，琴日都有買一個，有時幾日都有嘅，兩日都有。
His shop is a rare sight in the Great Mall. The majority of this vast shopping centre remains as empty as it did when it opened 6 years ago. Back then, developers boasted that it would become the world's biggest shopping mall. With plans for 1,500 shops that would attract 70,000 shoppers a day, the mall was heralded by the New York Times as proof of China's astonishing new consumer culture. But today, the not-so-great Mall of China, as it's now known, is a glaring indication that this consumer culture has been grossly overestimated. A gondola ride through the mall lasts 20 minutes and takes you past an unsettling and almost unending vista of emptiness. For the few workers kept on to maintain this vast and now eerie complex, it's boring and lonely work. And already there are signs of creeping neglect. Even filming an empty shopping mall is a sensitive issue in China. Police arrived and ordered us out. But the mall is so vast, it was easy to slip back in unnoticed. And just like in the city of Zhengzhou, building goes on. Despite repeated requests, the mall's management refused to talk to Dateline. But Tian Yu Gao wonders if the mall may become another victim of the government's obsession with big infrastructure projects. Do you think the South China Mall will still be around in 5 years' time?
咁樣好難講喎，要過咗明年睇下點樣咯。
自己感覺。
感覺睇下佢話二樓已經租出去啦，如果二樓租得出去有人嚟嘅話，就有機會啦。冇人嚟就冇機會啦。
We're on our way to another new city, Daya Bay, a 3-hour drive from the not-so-great mall. As you enter the city, the touts pounce, and a well-rehearsed sales pitch begins.
还一点吧，你就2分钟，你也有那单。
我们还有楼盘，还有到3个，到时候那个5月份还有一个楼盘在市中心那边，市中心那里还有。推来推去就只有推这。
Daya Bay is a city carved out of agricultural land and designed for 12 million people. That ambitious forecast, though, appears to be wildly out of kilter with reality. Because, according to even China's state-controlled media, 70% of these new units remain unoccupied. Is China experiencing a property bubble?
Absolutely. A property bubble like which I don't think we've ever seen.
Bigger than the one in the United States?
Yes, I think it'll make the United States pale into comparison. It's said that there's around 64 million empty apartments in China, and that's been
64 million?
64 million.
Gillem Tulloch is a Hong Kong-based analyst who's been investigating China's residential and commercial real estate market. He maintains that there's massive oversupply and overvaluation of properties right across China.
It's essentially the modern equivalent of building pyramids. It doesn't really add to the betterment of people's lives, but all it does is it promotes GDP growth.
And maintaining economic growth is the government's #1 priority.
It's basically happening because China is a command economy, and the Chinese government can basically dictate where resources are spent.
And so if the order goes out to build, local governments build?
That's right. If the central government sets a GDP target, they have to meet that target, and the easiest way to do it is just to build.
Isn't all this construction a good thing? It's creating jobs, it's getting the economy moving. That's good, isn't it?
Yes, but people forget that it's not the quantity of GDP that matters, it's the quality of GDP, and essentially they're just building stuff for which there's no demand. And ultimately that means they're creating a large problem in the future.
Prices for units here range from $70,000 to $100,000. A fortune in a country where the average worker's annual wage is around $6,000. But units here are selling, the vast majority as investment properties whose owners live in other parts of China. The agent bundled this prospective buyer away before we could talk to her. You've come here today, you've had a look around. What was your impression?
It's pretty alarming. It's incredibly interesting. I don't think there are many places in the world like this. I mean, we've seen empty apartments, empty condominium projects.
Do you imagine any of these apartments will be occupied in 5 years?
I think the occupancy rate in 5 years will still be about 25%. But, you know, if they bring the prices down to close to zero, I'm sure some people will move in.
Well, here's the thing. You've got millions of Chinese who, like people anywhere else, dream of owning a home, and they can't.
That's right, these are far too expensive for them.
Millions of expensive empty homes and millions of Chinese who can't afford to live in them. George Jiao is one of them. His rented home lies at the end of a narrow alley in the capital, Beijing. He knows that one day soon all this will be demolished. In its place, more upmarket condominiums, like the ones that tower above his neighborhood, a daily reminder of his own frustrated efforts to buy a home. He and his wife live in a single room off a small courtyard.
这儿你看1户2户3户4户5户6户7户8户9户10户人，一家基本上有2个人。
Family, each family. 对对对。你要洗得在哪儿洗？外边洗。
There's a communal sink and toilet. There is no place for children here, which is why their daughter remains with his parents in Sichuan. They see her once a year.
情况对我们来讲不好，因为我们辛辛苦苦在北京打工了多少年，也想买套房，可是房价就这么高，我们说实话自己想买不起了，已经被一些人炒作的已经太高了，这需要政府去帮助我们这些人能建立一个桥梁比较好一点的。
George and his wife both work 6 days a week in a beauty parlor, Their combined salaries are around $900 a month, of which a quarter goes on rent. He says owning a home should not be a dream, but a basic human right.
政府能够替我们想到，比如说我们经济住房啊，考虑到我们这一部分的服务行业的人群的话，我觉得比较妥当点。目前这个我也不看好，我也不喜欢政府这样子做，哎。
Zhao Gang also knows all about the difficulties of home ownership. He shares a two-bedroom apartment with 9 other people, including a married couple. Ironically, he's a government property developer. 3 men sleep in this room, with Mr. Zhao sharing a bed. None of which is exceptional in China, until you remember all those millions of homes that are empty. Something he didn't want to talk about.
个人见解这不好说，因为自己也是搞房地产的，这个方面里面的东西很多都明白，说了之后可能也是打抽自己的耳光吧。
But trouble is looming if the lack of affordable housing continues, warns this prominent sociologist.
所以说呢，中国最担心的事儿就是两极分化，因为邓小平选集第3卷第139页里头有一句话叫"如果导致两极分化，改革就算失败了"，而现在中国就是两极分化，而且还在分化，这就是非常令人担心的事儿了。
He fears a deepening of social divisions.
这就是两极分化呀，两极分化的，就是两极分化最后引起来是阶级矛盾呢，最后就是要所谓的这个穷人要闹革命啊。
A 2-hour drive from Beijing, I'm being shown a duplex with an asking price of almost $300,000. It's a development called Green Island, though it's anything but outside. From the window, a smoggy view of another old neighbourhood developers have earmarked for demolition.
So this will go next?
Yeah. Then those people will move in.
To here?
Yeah.
An unlikely prediction, considering buyers are required to pay 50% of the asking price up front, and the balance within 3 years. Such stringent terms, which keep so many workers out of the market, are also the reason why China has yet to experience a US-style credit implosion.
然后像你这样的高端人士是吧，住在里面的话，小区特别安静，特别适合你，是不是？住里面环境特别好。
Who will come to live here?
People can't afford have a house in Beijing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they haven't come yet.
No, it's not that convenient. You know, you spend a 4-hour travel on the road.
No.
And only months after the first tenants moved in here, the for sale signs and for rent signs are already appearing. China's authorities are trying to cool their overheated economy with a series of financial controls. But there are dangers.
It can't stay this way because we're in the upswing of a bubble, and when the bubble bursts, it will make a lot of people, well, it'll simply impoverish vast numbers of people.
And will there be anger, disgruntlement?
Yes, it increases the chances that you get some form of social unrest.